Welcome to the 1987 Pro National Video Series, Part 2. This video includes complete coverage of the Denver, Colorado round on June 14th and the final event of the AMA Series at Spring Creek Park in Millville, Minnesota. Here in the high elevations of the Rocky Mountains, Mickey Diamond talks to his mechanic, Chris Haynes, as he gets ready to go out for practice. Rick Johnson is a happy soul. He has 31 points ahead of second place Jeff Ward in the standings. He only needs a top 10 finish to clinch the championship today. Bob Hanna, who is fresh off a win in Paris, France in a Supercross race, is not really expected to do well today since he is much more of a sand specialist. However, Jeff Ward does well in hard pack situations and could do very well here today. Hanna's mechanic checks over the factory Suzuki. Suzuki is spending a lot of money this year and is working very hard to get on top of the standings in motocross. Here are some private moments with Bob Hanna. With a full gate of 125 riders, Rick Ryan takes a super hole shot here in the first moto of the day. Ryan pulls ahead of the pack by several bike lengths, but notice on the right hand of your screen as several riders loop out at the top of that hill. Mickey Diamond pulls into second place. The current points leader and the 86 champion Diamond could make it tough for Ryan to run away with this moto. Ryan and Diamond have already pulled away from the pack. They seem to have adapted well to the hard pack surface here at Denver and are really moving fast. Suzuki's 17-year-old Keith Turpin and Yamaha's Todd D. Hoop are running third and fourth here, but eventually crash out and move toward the back of the pack. Ryan started his national career at such a young age that people have wrote him off as a perpetual runner-up. But he's still a young rider. and has won more than a few 125 national motos. Maybe this will be the day he puts together an overall, which hasn't happened yet. Riding a Pro Circuit Honda, Larry Brooks takes over third place, along with Oklahoma's superstar Guy Cooper. Diamond holds a 11-point lead over George Holland in the standings. Australian Jeff Leask is running third in the points, with the current leader of this race, Ryan, holding down fourth. In the previous weekend, number 401, Suzuki's Donnie Schmidt had won the Anderson, South Carolina event with a 7-1 finish. Diamond had won the first moto, but crashed a couple times and finished ninth. Ryan and Diamond seem to be walking away with this race. Both are from California, and this track definitely resembles many of the home tracks of their state. Now Jeff Leask has moved in on Donnie Schmidt. Leask seems to be improving each lap, putting in some really hot lap times. But Ryan is definitely on the gas. He's out front and styling. Ryan now moves in on some lappers and will hopefully be able to get by those riders without too much trouble. It's been a long time since a privateer has won a national event, and it looks here that Ryan is putting a good bid for that move. Leask has moved by Schmidt and seems to be moving in on the front leaders at a very good rate. Rick Ryan is the only rider to win a Supercross in the United States as a privateer. He did so this spring at Daytona and is now looking for a national win. Larry Brooks continues in third place and Guy Cooper in fourth. Leask is definitely on the gas and is already moving in on Guy Cooper. The spectator turnout here at Lakewood is very good. There are many spots where spectators can watch the entire track from one location. Leask has already moved in close to Guy Cooper and looking for a place to pass. Ryan continues to get around these lappers without too much trouble and is actually pulling away from Diamond. Whoa, Ryan goes down. Can Diamond catch up to pass? No. Ryan gets up in a hurry and still holds a comfortable lead over Diamond. That little fall didn't seem to faze Ryan very much as he continues to lead this moto without any problems. Rick has been fighting some knee injuries this year, but doesn't seem to be affected by them today. Brooks still holds on to his third place, but Jeff Leask has now moved into fourth ahead of Cooper and continues to ride at an incredible pace. As the moto comes to an end, Ryan still holds several bike lengths over Diamond. Leask and Brooks are still going at it. Brooks trying to repass Leask, but doesn't quite do it here in this corner. Coming in for the checkered flag, Rick Ryan takes the win, while Diamond comes up short by only a few bike lengths. Brooks managed to overtake Leask, and the two riders finished just inches apart. Guy Cooper rounds the final turn for fifth place. Moving right into the first 250 moto, Rick Johnson takes the inside starting gate. Rick only needs a top 10 finish to clinch the 87 title, but knowing Rick, he will be going for the win anyway. It looks like Ward and Stanton go for the hole shot here. Stanton goes wide while Ward takes an outside line. Stanton gets caught in some mud here, and both Bowen and Ward get by. Already, Rick Johnson is moved into third and looks for a way around Bowen. While Ward is out front, Johnson just got by Bowen and heads after his arch rival, Jeff Ward. Ward is a master at hard pack tracks and is looking very much at home here at Denver. Ward is the only rider in contention for the championship here at Denver. Rick would have to either have a bad crash or have mechanical problems for Jeff to overtake the 250 championship. Johnson continues to hammer away at Ward's lead and is now looking for a place to pass the Kawasaki rider. Ward goes a little bit wide in this turn. Johnson dives inside and makes a clean pass. Ward drives in deep in this next corner, but Johnson takes the berm and pulls away. Ward broke his ankle early in the season and has had trouble ever since. It's amazing that he has been able to put in so many top finishes. He leads Johnson in the Supercross series and seems to have that series in the bag. Jeff is very professional. He's dedicated and he works hard, and it pays off. Let's look at Rick Johnson moving through this off camber in slow motion. Notice how his elbows are always up. He checks Jeff forward to see how far back he is. He gets his body as far forward as possible coming up this big hill, and then moves up almost on the gas tank as he makes this turn. Notice how Jeff uses his knees here, pushing against the motorcycle to help make this turn. Jeff now moves toward the back of the bike to keep the rear end on the ground coming into this bumpy turn. Now it looks like Ron Lechien has moved from way back and is now in fourth place, trying to zero in on Keith Bowen. Meantime, Johnson keeps hammering away at a tremendous pace, showing the crowd the national champion that he is. Lechien makes a unusual move here. Not many riders can make that move in that turn. Let's look at that in slow motion. Ron moves to the front of his bike, slams on the rear brake, and slides around this slick turn. It takes a lot of natural talent to make moves like that, and Ron definitely has what it takes. It's amazing to watch these top riders move their bodies around to make their motorcycles work. Notice how far Rick leans his motorcycle over in this turn and then quickly moves to the front of the bike so that front wheel will get good traction. While Ward enjoys a lonesome second place, Ron Lechien has been burning up the track trying to catch up to his teammate. Even though there is very little traction through this section, notice how these top riders use very smooth throttle control and go very deep into this corner. These guys are awesome to watch. Johnson continues to ride flawlessly, several seconds ahead of second place Jeff Ward, while Lechien has been zeroing in on Ward and moves by right here on this straight. The question is, can Lechien catch up with Johnson with only a few minutes left in this race? Later, Ward's mechanic commented that Jeff's forks had developed problems and Jeff was not able to ride at top speed. In spite of a lot of attention from the track crew, the Lakewood hillside was virtually a dust bowl, creating vision problems for many of the riders. Lechien keeps riding at top speed, hoping to catch Johnson. Johnson never misses a beat around these lappers and continues to dominate this moto. Rick says he doesn't like taking second place. In fact, Rick lost the 1982 250 National Championship right here at this same track. Johnson smashed his front wheel trying to pass Donnie Hansen for the lead. He only needed a top finish then to clinch the championship. The same situation holds for today. With only a few laps to go in this race, it looks like Johnson will take his third 250 national title. And where was Bob Hanna? He was riding mid-pack. He doesn't like this type of dirt. He came in this event in 4th place and was looking for a few extra points and to finish out his contract with the factory Suzuki. Notice the throttle control that Rick Johnson and the other top riders use on this smooth turn. It's what makes these riders ride so fast. Johnson comes around for the final lap. Now watch Ron Lechien coming through this turn in perfect style. Notice how he stands up coming into this turn and doesn't sit down till the very last possible second. Smooth throttle control. It's beautiful riding. Here comes Rick Johnson. He takes the win and the championship in style. I ask you now, is this man happy? In the final 125 moto, Mickey Diamond takes his factory Honda to the hole shot, followed by George Holland and Guy Cooper. Donnie Schmidt tries to go around on the outside, but gets sideways and lets Stacy Cook take over second. Diamond starts to pull away, but the crowd was really cheering for their local favorite, Cook, who is really putting on a great ride here. Diamond comes around the second lap. Cook still running in second, while Cooper takes over third. First moto winner, Ryan, is presently running fourth. While Diamond enjoys a comfortable lead, Guy Cooper moves into second. Now Ryan is starting to work on Cook, but the crowd is definitely in favor of their local hot shoe. Now Ryan has moved into third, but is being pressured by George Holland. Holland had won the 2 opening rounds of the series, Gainesville and Hangtown, but was presently a few points down from Honda's Mickey Diamond. Cooper continues to ride very well in second place, with Ryan just a few seconds back. It looks very doubtful that Ryan can catch Diamond. Mickey seems very serious about winning this race. While Diamond cruises around in front, Guy Cooper is putting on a super ride here in Denver. Now let's watch him in slow motion as he makes this turn. Notice how he has his leg sticking straight out, his knees pressed against the bike. He comes down to this little gully. He uses his knees and his legs to keep the bike straight. Now Larry Brooks has started to move in on Holland and Ryan. Could make for a very interesting race for second, third, and fourth. Diamond seems to have this moto in the bag, though. Then there's Cooper, who is famous for his jumping in 1986 and is now famous for his top finishes in 87. Larry Brooks has just passed George Holland and now tries to move in on Ryan. Brooks makes a wild pass here on Ryan and takes over a third place position. As long as Larry's on 2 wheels, he's definitely a threat. Only the week before in South Carolina, he had the overall win in the bag, but a mechanical failure gave his win to Suzuki's Donnie Schmidt. Meantime, Diamond is out front, and no one is stopping him. Cooper had fallen due to a lapper, giving Brooks second place. Now it looks like Ryan and George Holland are within striking distance of Cooper. Could be a very interesting finish. Brooks had also fallen and given Cooper back second place, while Ryan had dropped back several positions with his own problems. Holland continues to move in on Cooper, and Brooks is already back in the hunt after his fall. Now it looks like Larry Brooks has taken over second. Later, Cooper said that Holland had run into him and both riders went down. And for the checkered flag, it was Diamond way out front, with both Brooks and Cooper coming in for a photo finish. George Holland put in a great ride, but had to settle for fourth. On the start of the second 250 moto, Yamaha's Doug Dubach rocketed off the line and leads the 41 rider field into the first turn. Johnson blasts down this downhill, sweeps wide, and takes over second. The newly crowned 87 champion didn't waste any time passing the Yamaha rider as he sweeps the inside and takes over the lead. Stanton gets sideways here, gets knocked off the track, and several riders get by. While Johnson pulls away from the pack, Stanton, Ward, and Lachine take over the front spots. Ward goes the inside and takes over second. But on the second lap, Lachine amazingly takes over second and is already catching Johnson. This definitely could be the best race of the day, since Lachine finished second the first moto and wants to prove that he can beat the national champion at his own game. Stanton runs third here, while Ward holds off an impressive Billy Frank. Lachine looks very determined to catch Johnson. He made a lot of time on the Honda rider in the first moto and has the confidence to win this race. Lachine's formula for winning sounds pretty simple. He says, I just turn the bike on full throttle and keep it there until I cross the finish line. Back in third, Stanton holds off a hard-charging Jeff Ward, while Keith Bowen is holding down fifth place. Lachine may be a few bike lengths behind here, but he finds a hot line going through that second turn and almost passes Johnson. The Honda rider had a little more drive coming out of that turn as they head up the uphill. Lachine is definitely hot, looking for a place to pass. The crowd was really going crazy, enjoying every second. Team manager Roy Turner explains Lachine's success. He's called the Machine because he has absolutely no fear. Combined with strong athletic ability, these factors together makes him a real threat to the competition. Meantime, Ward gets around Stanton and now has a clear shot at going after the leaders. Looks like Ward's bike is working well now after problems with his forks in the first moto. His teammate Sheen hangs on the rear fender of Johnson. But Johnson holds on and makes some time on this big uphill. Rick lives in El Cajon, California. He started racing at the age of 9 and since then has come up with a 250 national title in 1984 and 1986. Rick also won the Supercross title last year, and for 1987 becomes the 250 national champ again. Now Jeff Ward has made a lot of time on the leaders, while Stanton continues to hold on to Ward's rear fender. Lachine finds a hot line through that second turn and now leads the 250 class. Johnson is right on Lachine's rear fender though and doesn't like this second place stuff. Johnson is considered stronger than Lachine, a little bit better conditioned. There's a lot of time left in this moto, and with these two superstars out front, anything can happen. Even with this dicing out front, Ward continues to pick up about a second a lap on Lachine and Johnson. These three riders have to be the top riders in the world Johnson is all over Lachine, just waiting for a place to pass. As lightning strikes in the sky, everyone wonders if the 20-year-old Lachine can hold off the newly crowned champ. While the eyes of the spectators were concentrating on the duo of Johnson and Lachine, Ward continued his fast pace and was catching the leaders. Yamaha's Stanton was putting on a brilliant ride, along with Doug Dubach and Billy Frank. Johnson found his way around Lachine and is already pulling away. Rick is definitely the master of this game. With only a few laps left in the race, Johnson uses his calculated, methodical riding style to win this series in a very convincing way. Ward has now moved into second, passing Lachine. Ron's mechanic, Mike McAndrews, later said that a rear wheel bearing caused some problems for Ron and that he was forced to slow down. Meantime, Johnson just keeps pouring on the power. Even if Ward could catch Johnson and pass him, Rick would still win the overall. Here's Rick near the end of the moto, still pressing hard. Notice how he moves his body well forward, coming around this slick turn. He uses his weight toward the inside to get traction Now Johnson comes around for the white flag. Only one lap to go. And Rick Johnson will make Denver, Colorado a perfect score with a 1-1 finish. RJ won 5 of the 6 events in this 250 series, giving only 1 overall to Ron Lechien at Mount Morris, Pennsylvania.